Hi everybody, this is Mike Gasior and this is my February 2008 video commentary. I'm coming to you live from Davos, Switzerland. No, not really. I'm in my backyard. But the timing of this video commentary is excruciatingly important. Seldom have I felt so compelled to come make a statement about something going on in the financial markets or the economy as I do right now. But here's the simple statement of fact as I feel it right now. We all are aware, I'm filming this on January 26th. We all know what has taken place in the financial markets, the Société Générale scandal in France, all that's going on in the last week or so. But here's my point. Everything that's being done by the Federal Reserve and by the U.S. government about this crisis is wrong. Dead wrong. I've been around this stuff. I've been around the markets 27 years. I've been following finance and economics for longer than that. Nothing makes sense anymore. We have a large problem, and everything that's being done to supposedly take care of that problem is going to exacerbate and make it worse. The Federal Reserve, after the decline in the foreign markets on Monday while the U.S. markets were closed because of the Martin Luther King holiday, Tuesday morning before the U.S. markets opened, the Federal Reserve cut interest rates between meetings 75 basis points, 0.75%, with complete expectation by the markets that they would cut rates again this coming week when they have their regular meeting. Let's think about that. As of year-end 2007, U.S. inflation measured by CPI, the Consumer Price Index, came in at 4.3%. Benjamin Bernanke, the new chair of the Federal Reserve, has a range of acceptable levels of inflation. That 4.3% was more than double what he considered acceptable. Now, I've studied economics for the better part of 30 years. If you're afraid of inflation, it is not my memory that you cut rates. Cutting rates does not fight inflation. Secondarily, we've had an enormous slide in the value of the U.S. dollar, which you could view as a vote of confidence in the U.S. economy. I remind my audiences all the time that the United States is almost completely dependent upon foreign investors to finance our debt. I've told many of you in person that between the years 2000 and 2006, the U.S. government issued $1.3 trillion in new debt. In that same period of time, that same 6 years, U.S.-based pension funds, insurance companies, U.S.-based investors lightened their holdings of U.S. Treasuries by $300 billion, net reduction. You know what that means? During those 6 years, foreign investors have financed every single dollar of U.S. Treasury debt, and with similar numbers in the corporate markets, mortgage backs, and other things. Dropping rates, is that going to make them more prone to invest in U.S. investments? I doubt it. It doesn't make sense. Fighting inflation with rate cuts, I don't understand. But you know what it was? The same move Bernanke's predecessor, Alan Greenspan, did. Throw raw meat to the angry mob. You have the Jim Cramers of the world screaming, they know nothing. You know what Jim Cramer knows nothing about is what is good for the long-term health of the economy. That's what he does. You know what he knows a lot about? He knows a lot about making money for himself, his investors, and other people. And all this interest rate cut will do is prolong the ultimate result of what's going to have to happen because of all the rate cuts and loose monetary policy of the last 15, almost 20 years. In the last 7 to 10 years, far too many people were lent money. Homeowners, corporations, people that never should have gotten the money. And now we have to deal with that. Cutting rates, what's it do? Well, it makes it cheaper, easier perhaps, to let people refinance debt they couldn't afford in the first place. It sounds cold, harsh to say it. We got to flush those people out. Their homes are going to be repossessed. They're going to be auctioned. Real estate values will decline. Corporations will go bankrupt because of the debt that they issued or the debt that they bought. And we flush that out. The economy has indigestion. We have to get rid of it now. And of all things, and don't get me started on politicians, a tax rebate, I could just vomit at the thought of it. Of course, I'm not getting one because I'm not in the tax bracket that qualifies. I'm in a tax bracket that qualifies to pay into the system. But the fact of the matter is this $150 billion tax rebate, it's just gross stupidity. Although we're talking about politicians, so stupidity should be nothing we should be surprised by. I watched the television as some 18-year-old Starbucks employee with a 3-year-old child marveled that with her rebate she's going to get to go to Jamaica. I don't even want to even talk about the vast items I could go off on with that comment. That doesn't stimulate the economy because you know why? The government didn't raise taxes by $150 billion. The government didn't cut spending by $150 billion. And I find him fun to listen to, but Mike Huckabee made a good point, a point I thought of, but he said it in public first. He said it in the Republican debate the other night. The $150 billion, we're going to borrow it. And you know who we're going to borrow it from? Probably the Chinese, who we're going to pay interest to. And then these Starbucks employees or whomever are going to go out and buy stuff at Walmart, at Target, and Best Buy. Those probably manufactured where? China. Whose economy are we stimulating there? What lessons are being learned and taught? I mean, not only is that the most irresponsible thing I can imagine politicians doing, it won't even help, which is the saddest thing. It just reinforces. Don't save any money. I don't expect you to not know this. You should know it. The U.S. savings rate has declined almost completely in a steady fashion for 25 years, and we are now at zero. Zero. But why should people save? The government doesn't. The government has no money put aside for a rainy day. That young woman at Starbucks should take that probably $900, right? $600 for her, $300 for her child, and put it in the bank. I just read the statistic. 55% of women in her age group don't have any savings at all. No. But the politicians have the public relations just right. Go out and spend that money. Everything being done by the Fed and being done by politicians for this situation is going to make it worse. Period, paragraph. I don't have enough time and you don't have enough patience to listen to the list of things that could be done that would help. But some of them will be painful. But we're at a crossroads here. This was the inflection point where things change. This is an important message. Don't buy into this. We have big problems, and we have to work through them. And this is not even a Band-Aid on a sucking wound. So anyway, I try so hard. You know, I try to make these like videos goofy and entertaining and educational. But we're all grown-ups, most of us. We know the consequences of our actions. We've had quite the party. Loose money policies, too cheap interest rates, and the check is coming. And we're going to have to pay the check. Except we're going to be paying that check to people outside the United States. So, hopefully next month we'll move on to more cheerful subjects. This is important. Don't listen to this stuff. Don't listen to what Bernanke's doing. Don't listen to what the politicians are doing. Think about it for yourself. You know it's wrong. And I don't know when we face that music. So, hopefully next month's better. I can't believe it's snowing. It's kind of cute, though. See, that's something new for the videos. I haven't done one in the snow. I've done it on the snow. But anyway, I hope you're all well. My newsletter goes out. You're going to get the same message in that in more detail. And I will see you back here next month. Take care.